Hello everyone, welcome back to another Classic Arcade repair video. I have a Gottleib Krull. K-R-U-L-L. I have the main board, I have the sound board. The sound board, I believe, came in an anti-static bag. I think it might work 100%. I don't know. I had to put this in. This is a connection that connects to the soundboard. So I had to wire this up to my harness. And I had to put in a new coin switch. I'm going to have to put in a new one-player start and everything. And this isn't an exact pinout to Qbert. It is as far as the power and everything, but that's power and video is the same. But the inputs and stuff are a little different. So, but for this purpose, it'll wire it up, it'll power it up, and it'll show me that it's dead. And this one's in bad shape. I checked the voltage already. It's at about 4.8. It's about as good as it gets. You see, if I remove this guy, look at this crust. Look at the green crust. So yeah, this board is in pretty bad shape. It really needs to be washed. You need to wash it up. Remove this battery. Yeah, and go from there. I'll dump all of the ROMs and make sure that that's all good. Yeah, I might have to replace all of these sockets. I probably will. I probably will end up having to, because these ones look terrible. Everything's really bad on this board, so we're going to have to do some serious maintenance. So first thing I'm going to do is, document what chips are where. And then I'm going to start just tearing this thing apart. This board looks like we're missing a chip right here. That is a removed IC right there. So, and the good news is it looks like it was removed decently. I don't think it's any damage. Yeah, this one's ugly. It's pretty bad. But we'll clean it up. I don't think it's battery corrosion. I do not believe that this is corrosion from the battery. I believe that this is just humidity corrosion. I really believe that, because I don't see evidence of this battery having leaked. Maybe a little bit right there, but I mean really minimal. It's not bad. This is a very, very savable board. It's really not that bad. Yeah, it's got bad sockets and everything, but it just looks like it is a product of the environment that it was in. So it is what it is. We'll get it straightened out and cleaned up and bring this baby back to life. So, all right, let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is just tear this thing apart. Document what goes where, tear it apart, and then I'll do the normal stuff. I'll dump and verify all of the software, test all of the RAM chips, and see what we got. Well, I got the desoldering gun out, getting ready to start some desoldering of sockets, and yeah, seen this, so I was mistaken. That chip that was removed was hacked out of here. So I'll have to do some trace repair. No big deal. I'm getting ready to remove this line of sockets. Do as much as I can today before I call it a night. But yeah, so lots of work to do on this guy. Progress. Oh, I forgot to remove these RAMs. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test all of the RAMs tonight before I'm done. But yeah, I've removed a ton of the sockets. And man, this board is so filthy. Look at the dirt around all of these sockets. I even removed this one that's not populated. I removed the battery. You can see there's no battery corrosion. Battery did not leak. This guy right here did not leak really. Miracle. But just nasty, dirty sockets. Dirty, nasty board. I got all the top done, and I got these ones right here. Tomorrow I'm going to do these 3, these 4, and these 2. And then this thing needs to get a really good cleaning. So that's where I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow I will verify the ROM, and then we'll be ready to repopulate tomorrow, and hopefully by the end of work day tomorrow we have this thing fired up and we can actually start troubleshooting. Once we get it cleaned up and we know that our RAM is good, our software is good, and then we can start troubleshooting. But you know, you never know, with a really super good cleaning and new sockets and everything, this thing might just flat out work. You never know. So it's all good. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. So, yeah. We'll see you tomorrow. By the way, this is the assortment of sockets that have been removed so far. And look at these things. I wonder why this thing doesn't work. It's a mystery. Why doesn't this board work? Well, this is not boding well for the socketed chips so far. Every one of these RAMs is bad. All of the 8209s are bad. The 6116s are bad. The 2016 or 2128, whatever you want to look at, those are bad. The only ones that are good are the 93 422s. Those are the only ones that are good. And these ones are the 4118s that were in the board, and I can't test those in this. So that's just going to be a, we'll see in the board. Yeah, this doesn't test those. So, but from what I understand, you can just pop 21 or 2016s in the board and it'll be fine. It's just the 2016 is a 2K, whereas this is a 1K, I believe. So it's just on the 2016, the upper address bit, the most significant address bit, just doesn't matter. It's like tied low or high or something like that. So yeah, anyway, a lot of bad RAM, and I suspect that we'll have a lot of bad ROMs as well. So we'll check that tomorrow. All right, see you then. All right, I just cleaned the Krull board. I got these sockets removed. I got all the sockets removed now, and I've cleaned the board up. Give it a good clean scrubbing. Everything came out good, no problems. And it's nice and clean now. No corrosion that I can see. Yeah. It's still a little wet from where I had sprayed it with alcohol. These are the remaining sockets that came out. Very dirty and a little oxidized, a little cruddy. Yeah. That one's just green. All the sockets were just junk. So yeah. Next thing I'm going to do while this is drying, while this thing is drying off, is I'm going to get my programmer out and check the ROM. So that'll be the next step, and let this, just set this over and let it dry. And yeah, check out some ROMs and see how many of those are bad, and go from there. Alright, good morning. Well, we're at it, checking the ROMs, and I just went through the whole ROM set, and I had 6 bad, 5 good, but I think I'm just going to replace all of them because I don't trust these. These ones that were good, I don't trust them holding up for the long term just because of the environment that they've been in. The bad ones, this was the last one I just did. This is RAM 4. You'll see this one right here just returns random garbage every time. Load RAM from device again, 2732. So we'll just go ahead. This was the last time I loaded it. It was 2E1F. Now it comes up 3F60. I'll load it again. 33B0 again. 2F91. Yeah. See, these things are just internally goofed. So I'd say 3 of them did that with just random junk, and then 2 of these 64s came up with a checksum of E000, which means it's completely filled with FF, which means it's just no good. And it didn't just erase over time like this. This thing, the ones that are like that are dead. So yeah, I don't know, pretty bad. So we got bad ROMs, we've got ROMs that I don't trust with holding. So I think I'll send these back. They're good, they test good. I'll send them back to the customer, but man, I recommend replacing those because I don't see those lasting long term. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I got to replace the entire ROM set on this thing. Yeah, so I'll send I'll put all of these in a tube. I'll put them in the box. I'll send them back. But yeah, they're all dead. And the ones with the green mark are actually good. And these ones have a red dot, meaning that they are no good. But they're all getting replaced. And that's, Lord, that's expensive. You know, EEPROMs aren't cheap, but you know, this is kind of a rare board. These Gottleib boards don't come along all that often, so yeah. Every one of these needs to be replaced. And all of the RAM. All of the RAM, basically, and all of the ROM have to be replaced on this thing. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Alright, anyway. Get to it. I'm going to go ahead, program a whole new set of ROMs, and I'll be back after that. Okay, yeah. Parts correctly programmed, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, a new, fresh set of software for the Krull PCB. Here's the old chips in a tube here. I'll send them back. And these ones I'm not sending back. These RAMs are just, I don't know. They're just garbage. I might throw them in something, I don't know. And the CPU's in here too. I don't know if that's any good. We'll find that out. So now I'll go ahead, I'll put this all away, and we can start repopulating the board with sockets. So let's do that next. Okay, this is the back side of the board. Now, after you clean it and it dries, you'll get a ton of white residue-y nonsense from basically the flux. It's a combination of an oxidized flux solder mix that leaves a really nasty white residue on the board, and you have to go through with your lacquer thinner and a toothbrush and brush it off really good, and then put your paper towel over it and kind of soak it up like that, and it gives you a nice clean result with the board. And this thing was covered with that white junk. I basically had to go over the whole board, turn the fan on, get some ventilation going, because this stuff stinks. But it's the only way to clean these boards like that. It's really the only way. So yeah, now it's good and clean now, and we're ready. Once it's dry really good, you're ready to start your soldering. So this board is really clean. I put these back in, and I got my 28 pin sockets out and getting ready to repopulate. So yeah, once it's clean and dry, go ahead and start that. Okay, the new sockets are in. This one right here, I do have to do some trace repair on the back of the board. Remember, that was the one that was kind of hacked out. But yeah, all new sockets. I didn't bother replacing these two, they're not used. And I did not bother replacing this one because it's not used. Yeah. I've re-cleaned everything with lacquer thinner once again. And unfortunately, due to the state of this board, a lot of the pads did come up, but it was pads that didn't have traces coming to them, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, there's no damaged traces, so that was good. But it's nice and cleaned up now, and we've got brand new sockets in. So this one right here, I do have to repair some traces, so I'm going to do that. And luckily, all of the trace repair is backside. It's on the bottom of the board. There's no broken traces on the front side of the board, so on the top, so that's good. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll populate this thing and plug it in and see what happens. Okay, and here's the repair on that. You see, I just little piece of wire there and little piece of wire come down right there. That was the only two traces, and I beeped it all out. I actually printed this part of the circuit off so that I made sure it went to the right place. All of the connections were made. That's that chip right there. It is a background picture data latch, and it is now wired in correctly. I should say it is wired correctly, so good to go. We'll go ahead and populate all the chips and hook it up to the system and see what it does. Alright, I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. These are the only two original chips. Well, these two RAMs as well, but I don't know if they're good. But yeah, I did clean the legs on these guys, nice and clean. But yeah, looking good. Two new. These are your 6116s that are used to save game data. Yeah, we've got all of our new ROMs in. So yeah, let's go ahead and fire it up. Fire it up together. See what happens. And you know what? I do not have... The sync's not going to work. Even if it does work, I do not believe that the sync is going to work. So if it comes up, it's not going to be synced. Just keep that in mind. Anything. Give me something. Nothing. Nothing at all. Blank screen. Okay. Let's turn it off. Let's turn this on. And let's grab our ground. And we will ground this right there. Grab probe number 1. And put this on the tripod, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to start probing around. I'm going to unplug the monitor because I don't need it on, and turn on the board. So right now it is just the game board powered on. And let's try and see if we have any kind of activity. We do have a clock. And let's do... Okay. We do have some signals. Looks good. Okay. Yeah, we have activity going. We have something going on. That's pretty good. That looks like activity. That looks like no, it's not dead. We don't have video at all. Yeah, so we have something going on. There's definitely some activity. And here's that's your red signal, your blue signal, vertical sync, horizontal sync, horizontal sync 15.6K, and vertical sync 61 Hertz. So we should be having something on the monitor screen, right? There should absolutely be something, because it looks like it's working. It at least looks like we should have a picture. Why do we not have a picture? Am I hooked up correctly? You know what? We might not have a picture because this monitor cannot show this sync. It's a negative composite sync only monitor, the Nintendo monitor. So, but it looks like this thing is definitely doing something. So we should have a picture. So I'm going to mess around with that. I might have to build a sync circuit, a sync. You know what I do have is I do have something to make composite sync out of two sync signals, but it's positive. This is positive sync. This is not negative sync. So I think I need to invert it as well. So I'm going to have to come up with something so that I can actually use this monitor. I'll be back. Okay, yeah, the really good news here is I went through this whole list of stuff with my Fluke 8088 pod, and everything checks out good. All of the ROMs read good, and all of the RAMs read good. And I was able to actually decipher what RAMs are and what ranges are which actual RAM, which was, you know, that's pretty cool. So yeah, this thing is, as far as CPU, is working fine. I got to figure out this this sync issue. What I really need to do is repair that monitor back there, because that would hook right up to this. No problem. My Berserk monitor would hook right up to this. That monitor that I took and put into Berserk right there would hook right up to it. Yeah, so I gotta. The Nintendo monitor is just not a good monitor for unseparated sync signals, and especially positive sync signals. It's no good at all. Board sets like Tron, which have a negative horizontal and vertical individual sync signals, I can put through an AND gate and then hook up to this, and it gives me a composite negative sync. In theory, I should be able to take positive horizontal and vertical sync, put them through a not OR gate, and I think that should come up with an inverted composite sync. It should. So I should be able to do that, but for whatever reason, I don't know. What I really need to do is get a schematic for this, because I don't have a schematic. I don't have a full schematic for this board. And this is, I believe this is the same board as Qbert. It's the same board, but they use, like Qbert uses background ROMs, this uses RAMs. So the program's different on how it accesses the addresses and stuff like that. So the program is definitely, well, of course it's different. It's a different game. But it's just kind of funny how Krull uses ROMs here. Qbert uses, or no, Krull uses RAMs here. Qbert uses ROMs. Qbert uses RAMs up through here, and Krull has ROMs here. So it's just utilizing the address space differently with this program. It's kind of weird how they did that, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I need to get a schematic together for this. I need to I might look into fixing that, buy a flyback for it and just fix that stupid thing. So yeah, anyway, anywho, all right, well, yep, I'll be back. I'll just figure out, get a schematic for this and start looking at some stuff and figure out the sync, figure out what I'm going to do about the sync. So yeah, all right, I'll be back. All right, and here's that Wells Gardner 7000 series, K7000 series monitor. I've got it stripped down and cleaned. It was filthy, 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 and it's pretty clean now and beautiful. One of the fuse clips broke, fuse holders. That's no big deal. I got those. I'll replace both of them. Okay, yeah. I just got done cleaning this thing. Sprayed it down good with alcohol after cleaning it so that it'll evap out really good. I made my cap list here. This is just a list of caps. I bought a flyback. I jumped on Arcade Parts and Repair and bought a flyback. And it's a typical flyback on these 7000s. It's typical, they crack. See that crack right there? It's cracked all the way across. See that? So, yeah. I'm going to replace that, recap, and then I'll have a monitor solution that will, because I need a versatile monitor. I need a monitor that I can plug in negative composite sync, which is what most everything is. Even Atari boards, which have positive horizontal and vertical, they also output composite negative sync. But this thing has connections right here. It'll connect to, man, those are a little bent up too. I'll probably replace these. But yeah, this is a versatile monitor that you can put positive horizontal and negative, or positive horizontal and vertical. You can put negative horizontal and vertical. You can put positive or composite negative sync on here. So this thing will handle everything. This will be a good monitor over for the test bench. I'll go through this and resolder everything that needs to be resoldered. I'm going to replace, I don't know if I'll replace them. Those are good square pins. I'm probably just going to bend them back into, it's only this one for the red is a little bit bent. So yeah, I'll bend that back into place, resolder everything. Yeah, it's never been reflowed or anything, resoldered. All right, yeah. So I'll fix this thing and then we'll be able to look at Cubert. All right. Yeah, I know Peter over there at Arcade Parts and Repair ships really fast, so we'll get this thing put back together pronto.